irregular meeting for the City of Coolidge City Council, July 10th, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so we have no presentations. We'll move into call to the public. Sienna, do we have anybody?
Roll call. Do you need the roll call?
Martha, come on up. We need roll call, yeah. Go ahead, while she's making her way up there, go ahead and do the roll call.
Councilmember Tom Bagnell.
Present.
Councilmember Adriana Saavedra.
Present.
Councilmember Steve Hudson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Jackie Henry.
Here.
Tatiana Murrieta. Eric Daniels. And Mayor John Thompson.
Here,
We have a quorum.
thank you. Okay. Martha, would you introduce yourself and give us your address, please, since I know you, but I don't know if any of these other people do.
My name is Martha Needham, and I am a citizen of Coolidge, and very happy to be here. And I am here. I am a retired 911 dispatcher of 20 years from the county and city of San Diego. I am here to talk about the Public Safety Telecommunications Week celebrated in April, and that's annually, and to acknowledge the important job dispatchers do daily to protect our community, police, fire, and EMTs, and other law enforcement agencies. In March of this year, Mayor Thompson presented a proclamation for the Coolidge Police Department dispatchers. This was a first occurrence. However, it was not understood that the proclamation needed to be taken to the dispatch center and presented to them also. This action is a tradition throughout other agencies. Therefore, I am asking a member of this fine council to continue that tradition and take a copy of the proclamation to the dispatch center. Thank you.
Thank you, we'll see that one gets over there. Okay, it's called the public. Is there anybody else that needs to address the council? Okay, seeing nobody approach, then we'll move out and call the public. We'll approve and move into approval of the minutes for the budget meeting of June 12th, 2023, the regular city council meeting of June 12th, 2023, the special meeting of June 26th, 2023, and the regular meeting of June 2023. Are there any corrections or any discussion about any of these items?
No, sir.
If not, I need a motion to act.
Mayor, with no further discussion, I make a motion we approve the council budget meeting, the regular meeting, the special meeting, and the regular meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries, thank you. Now we'll move in to a public hearing under item number 7. To receive public comments regarding the use of the FY 2023 Federal Community Development Block Grant funds from the Arizona Department of Housing's regional account and the state special projects account. It's a public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor Thompson and members of the council. This is the second public hearing to receive comments and answer any questions for our annual application process to apply for the fiscal 2023 Community Development Block Grant Funds. Our first hearing for the application process was held on June 8th, 2023. We are going to apply for approximately $75,000 from the regional account funds that are allocated to us through Central Arizona Governments, and are planning on applying for $465 from the competitive state special projects through Arizona Department of Housing. We have decided to continue on using our funds for housing rehabilitation and emergency repairs for low-income community members like we have done in previous years. There are many houses that are in need of substantial repair in our community, as we currently have about 35 to 40 people on our waiting list. Later on in this meeting, we'll vote on the resolution giving authorizations to submit for the fiscal 2023 applications. You have any questions?
Have you already decided, have we already decided what we're gonna do if we get the money? If we only get 75,000,
So
We're
we're
not-
going to tie it in with our home funds that we just got awarded, because we have the
Okay.
home funds that are awarded in June, so we're going to hopefully tie it in with the program with those ones for 2 or 3 houses.
all right, does anybody have any, it's a public hearing, does anybody up here have any questions?
No, sir.
Tom, nothing? Jackie? Public hearing. Anybody out there have anything they want to say about it? I don't see the supervisor charging to the podium, so I'm gonna move out of, we're gonna move out of the public hearing. And into business items for consent. Are there any items that any member of the council wants pulled off of there?
Yeah, Mayor, excuse me.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to pull number 9, not for discussion, or I'm actually for it, just so I can abstain from voting on it, please.
Okay. All right,
And number 12.
number 12. All right, Tom?
Well, number 9 was the one that I was going to ask about too. I just had a couple of questions.
Sure,
So,
no problem. Okay, that's it, then here we go. Item 8, resolution number 23,
What?
Yeah,
is it okay to go now? I just want to make sure. Okay, item 8, resolution number 2310, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Coolidge authorizing the submission of an application for FY 2023 state community development funds, certifying said application meets the community's previously identified housing and community development needs and the requirements of the state CDBG program, and authorizing all actions necessary to implement and complete the activities outlined in said application. Item 10, consider approval of entering into a cooperative purchasing agreement between the City of Coolidge and Core Civic, Inc. for private jailing services, utilizing a City of Mesa contract solicitation number 2022021 under the Strategic Alliance for Volume Expenditures Save Cooperative. Item 11, consider approval of the revised IGA between the City of Casa Grande and the City of Coolidge Police Department to allow Coolidge Police Department to have a Gila Electronics install a microwave link on the Casa Grande shelter on Casa Grande Mountain. Item 13, consider approval of entering into an agreement for purchase of equipment with Empire Machinery for the purchase of a new Bros RCT 350 road broom in the amount not to exceed $98,852.05 plus applicable taxes, authorizing the mayor to sign on the necessary documents. 14, consider approval of accepting the change order from Westland Resources to complete a wastewater 208 master plan and approving authorization in the amount not to exceed $24,825 and authorizing the mayor to sign the authorization of services. 15, consider approval of entering into a direct contract between the Arizona Department of Economic Security, the Division of Developmental Disabilities, and the City of Coolidge for the purpose of providing emergency response and services for the Arizona Training Program Center through July 31st, 2028. 16, consider approval of renumbering ordinance number 23-02 dated June 12th, 2023 to ordinance number 23-05. Ordinance number 23-03 dated June 26th, 2023 to ordinance number 23-06. And ordinance number 23-04 dated June 26, 2023, to ordinance number 23-07, authorizing the city clerk to make any necessary changes. Item 17, resolution number 23-11, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Coolidge, Arizona, adopting the Public Safety Personnel Retirement System deferred compensation, and authorize the city manager to conduct all negotiations and sign all necessary agreements. Item 18, resolution number 23-12, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Coolidge, Arizona, adopting the Arizona State Retirement System Supplemental Salary Deferral Plan and authorizing city manager to conduct all negotiations and sign all necessary agreements. Item 19, resolution number 23-13, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Coolidge, Arizona, adopting the Coolidge General Plan 2035 Public Participation Plan. Okay, I'm going to need a motion to act.
Mayor Thompson, I move to approve consent agenda items 8, 10, 11, 12, I'm sorry, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Sienna?
Councilmember Tom Bagnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Adriana Saavedra,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Hudson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jackie Henry,
Yes.
and Mayor John Thompson.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we'll move into business, regular items. Item 20, consider approval of declaring the E-531 Fiera fire engine as surplus property and approval for sale or donation. Yeah.
We have two items pulled on consent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whichever you want to go on, but
We said this one, let's get them here and take care of it, and then we'll go back. All right.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor Henry, council members. This item number 20 is the sale or donation of engine 531 or declaring it surplus property. This was tabled from last meeting. And I think that the council was wanting some information basically on what it would take to fix this truck or get it back up to standards where we could use it. So as of right now, the NFPA 1911 states that any apparatus that's 20 years of age should be taken out of service. Obviously, this engine is 27 years old. And we got some estimates. One of the main problems that we have with this engine is the actual fire pump. It did not pass its pump test, so we got some pricing on what it would take to rebuild the pump. That'll be to the tune of about $12,000. If we need to replace the pump, that's going to be about double that, about $25,000 to replace the pump. And so we're looking at spending a pretty decent amount of money on an apparatus that's 27 years old that should be taken out of service anyway. But what me and the Public Works Director got together, and I think what we can do instead of, we'll still have to declare it surplus property from my department, but then we'll just transfer ownership over to Public Works. And basically what we'll do is we will repurpose this vehicle. And then I'm going to let Jeremy come up and give you some numbers and the idea of what we're thinking about for the repurpose of this vehicle. Yes.
May I ask a quick question? Because I
Sure.
wasn't here last time. So this engine, is that the one that they were using? Or has it been?
No,
not-
we have not used this engine. This engine is the last in line, and it failed our pump test last year.
Okay.
So it's been out of service.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
Vice Mayor, we decided to look into it because with the brush fires and everything, and we thought, or at least I'll speak for myself, I thought that maybe we could use it, if nothing else, just to go out and, spray water on, maybe to stop the fire from spreading, since these fire engines are extremely expensive, so. But I know, I mean, if it's supposed to be out, I wanted to see how much it would cost to get it to where you could at least do that, instead of them coming in and wanting a new fire truck after everything else.
Okay, thank you.
So that's, that was my thinking, trying to save money.
And I think we've kind of found a way to do it.
Okay.
That's
Here's
awesome.
Jeremy.
Good evening, council, mayor.
Good evening.
So, speaking of E531, not only has it failed its pump test last year, it's failed it since 2020. So there hasn't been a lack of effort of trying to keep it in service by no means. That being said, myself, Chief Dillon, and Public Works Director Ben Navarro came up with a pivot point on this truck. Since 2020, we all know availability has been far and few between. So now that we have a chassis, we could repurpose the chassis itself into one, which we were thinking a water truck, but it'd be a really small water truck. That quote came in right at $35,000. That's about $150,000 cheaper than buying a chassis water truck in itself. Then we pivoted again, and we could actually convert this truck into a solid waste dump truck, which our brush truck that we're running now for solid waste is a 1991. It's on a Ford chassis, but it's got over 460,000 miles on it. That would be an asset to that department. And Mayor, I know you wanted to see hard numbers just to get it back up in service, and Mr. Bagnall, I know you were interested in that too. Like Chief discussed the pump. Another big thing with this engine is the foam system, what we call a CAF system. It fights acid fires, car fires. That system has been depleted. It's been absolutely deleted from the engine itself, from the apparatus. To get an actual hard number quote on that, we would have to take it to H&E and fire apparatus specialists that deal with that. They're really close with NFPA standards, which Chief kind of touched base on. And we're talking just the pump alone to either refurb it or replace it. You guys heard those numbers, guys and gals heard those numbers. This would be probably triple that. So just kind of a black and white scenario. If we would couldn't go that route, Public Works would be happy to take the truck, repurpose it. If we went the brush truck, I know it would get confusing, the solid waste dump truck, to take it to them, get the body, the pump, and everything off of the engine, the apparatus, and have a custom dump bed put on it would be $41,000 instead of going out trying to find a new one for close to $200,000. So something to keep in mind. Any questions?
Well, no, I was pretty happy with that, but I'm sure some of the council members have some questions, so I'm going to let
They
them.
do.
I think, what you guys come up with here, I think it's a great plan. It's a workable plan. I mean, you guys are the experts. You know what you can and can't do. And like you said, I mean, that sounds a lot better than buying a brand-new dump truck and everything. So I want to thank you guys for getting together and working with each other and coming up with a solution like this because, we can still use the truck and it's going to save us some money in the long run. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jeremy,
Yes, sir.
the engine and transmission, I mean, the truck's, how old is the truck? Over 20 years old?
27, sir.
27 years old?
Yes, sir.
What are the engine hours on that truck?
So at that time, the engine hours weren't operable, but it only has 26,000 actual miles on the and it does have the big Allison in it, so it's capable of handling what Public Works, solid waste would need it for.
So it has 26,000 on
On the
the
chassis.
chassis.
Correct,
But
yes,
what
sir.
about the engine hours?
It's 26,000 actual miles on it.
That's miles, but engine hours is different than the miles.
That truck didn't have engine hours on it at
Oh,
the
it
time,
didn't?
sir. No, sir.
Okay.
It just has
So you
miles.
think that the engine and transmission, maintenance-wise, longevity, will last for what you need to get done?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, thanks.
Any question? Vice Mayor?
Thank you.
Also, a little silver lining to this is Jeremy and I were doing the research on this. We reached out to one of our vendors that actually did the refurb for us on engine 535, and they would be interested in that pump. Even though it doesn't work, that's what they do, is they buy old pumps, they buy old pieces of equipment and refurbish it. So we could actually, what we're going to take off of this vehicle that they do not need for theirs, we can turn around and sell. We can sell the back bed, meaning the hose bed. We can sell the pump. So some of that $40,000 that we would spend on transitioning that into a dump truck, we would recover some of that cost back in just parting out what we don't use. We've already talked to United Fire. They're not really interested in the bed, but we can sell that at an auction site. But they are interested in the pump.
Do we need to approve any of this, or?
Not that part of it, do we?
I think you just approved that.
In order to make this happen, do we need to approve any of this, or what do we?
We don't have to sell it?
Yeah, just take it out of service.
Yep.
Yes. Once it's declared surplus property, then at the direction of the city manager, the director, stuff like that, then we can start doing the process of transitioning this vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
And Chief, one other thing, I just want to, once again, and you are comfortable that the current equipment that you have at this point in time is sufficient enough to service the city of Coolidge?
Correct.
With
Yes.
everything that you have?
Yes, we have not been, this vehicle has been sitting in the back lot of PD, this building right here, for the past 2 years.
I see. Okay, and because I had been doing some checking around and talking with some people, and I know that the most current engine that we had purchased, it was repurposed and everything, and that has been in operation, but then
Yes.
I've also heard that there were a few mechanical problems with that off and on, but those have all been cleared up and
Yeah,
Good,
I mean,
great
you have
working order.
fire trucks have basically about 1 million moving parts.
Yeah.
So even brand new, even refurbished, you're going to have breakdowns. You're going to have actuating arms that break. You have switches that break. It's just the nature of it. But yeah, it's been a very good vehicle.
okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, we still would declare the fire truck surplus simply because we're going to get rid of some of the parts off the truck. The city manager can then redirect what we do with the other parts of the truck to make it a water truck, but at least by declaring it surplus, then we can sell some of the stuff that we're not going to use, no matter what we do with it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. That was,
Thank you.
I thought it worked out pretty well. It was worth holding off for a couple of weeks or whatever it was, and we came out a little better off, I think, than just giving it up, and this helps out Public Works. So thank you. Ben, we're sure glad you came over from the county. I'm sure glad they got a lot of guys like you they can just give away.
So we do need to declare that, right?
I need a motion to
Yeah,
act on
Mayor,
it.
if there's no further discussion, I make a motion, we declare engine 531 as surplus property.
I second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now we'll move back into items for consent. Number 9, consider approval to purchase 3 new 2023 Chevy Tahoes from Courtesy Chevrolet and/or Garrett Motors pending on the transfer swap with Courtesy Chevrolet in the amount not to exceed $94,000 per vehicle, including upfitting, utilizing capital sales tax, and waiving the sale bid requirements in the best interest of the city. Okay, gentlemen, you,
Okay, yeah. Mayor Thompson, council, I just wanted, and chief, I just wanted to, just real quick look at this because I know that through the budget process, we went ahead and and they showed that 6 Tahoes at 80,000 each. And this came in at 94,000, but when it says including upfitting, is that what the additional cost is?
Not just that, sir. Well, good evening, Mayor, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Yes, there's upfitting charges that have gone way up in estimates. The bids are way up. Maybe Steve can't vote on this, can talk about how much the vehicles have gone up in the last year. Just a little history on how this came on here. I'd like to thank Norma and Sienna for getting us on them real quick. Literally Thursday, we got a call from Ben Navarro and Jeremy that they found some vehicles that Phoenix PD hadn't purchased that are still in the lot. They're kind of like almost road ready. For a current year, we wouldn't have to wait for the build or the window to put in for or something. So we were notified, we got with city management and finance, and we decided to go after these because they're available right now. We don't know how available they're going to be in the future, so stuff like that. So the $94,000 is a lot more than we had thought. It was still within our budget, if you whittle down numbers. But I can't tell you there's like $8,000 more per vehicle, or Mr. Hudson would like to speak because he has the actual numbers. So can he speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, to do a 2024, you're probably looking about at least $6,000 more money per unit because of price increase. The availability of them will probably not. The window's going to open up in September for government agencies to order them. And it's going to be a short window, and it'll close real quick. And you're probably not looking to get them till March or April. I have been in contact with Courtesy Chevrolet. They said that all the Tahoes are spoken for, that I could not get them, but we'll find out tonight if and when this is approved, and then we can contact them and see if it is. But I could not get the vehicles from them. They're saying that I think they got 12 or 13. They're saying they're all spoken for. And that's the issue you have. I know that the Public Works and we're looking at trying to get more vehicles. The window of opportunity, when it opens up, this stuff needs to be approved because just like auction, I've had 5 vehicles on that actually I bid them as with 2024 price increase, just guessing. The window of opportunity on 3/4 tons opened up. I already had the POs for them, sent them to GM. They were approved. I ordered them. The window opened up today for half-ton trucks. It's probably going to be a short window, but I already had the PO from auction. I've had the POs for about 4 months, just waiting for this opportunity to happen. In September, they're going to open up for 3/4 tons again, half tons again, and police vehicles. And that window of opportunity is going to be about 2 or 3 weeks. I have to have signed POs to be able to order them from General Motors. They got to be approved. They go to my state rep, then they go to the headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan, and once those are approved, then I can order them. So if these Tahoes are not available, we need to get this. Any vehicles we want to purchase probably need to get on the agenda and approved prior to September. So the window of opportunity, when it does open up, that we can replace vehicles that we need to replace. Other than that, you're probably going to look at another year before you can be.
To go back to your question about dollar amounts, I think upfitting went up about 7,000. How much would go up per vehicle?
It went from 7,000
Yeah.
about 22, 23, and it's now about 29,000. That's just on the equipment from MHQ. That's not considering the radio from Motorola and the laptop computer that goes in there.
The radio, everything. The radios are like 8,500. The laptops are 2,500, and they have to be specific that all fit. We estimated what we could. We had no idea they're going to jump that much, sir.
Well, if what Mr. Hudson's saying, if those aren't available, can we still go ahead and approve this, or is this a specific transaction where?
No, what I was saying, Tom, is they might just be telling me that they're spoken for.
Yeah.
That's why it says if this is approved tonight, then Ben Navarro can contact Courtesy tomorrow and say it has been approved.
I see.
And then we can go ahead and purchase it. They're just relaying to me that I cannot get them from them. But they could be lying to me.
Car dealers don't do that.
Let me tell you something. Salespeople like I don't, but car dealers, other car dealers do.
They fib a little bit.
Just a little.
It's sales. So,
I mean, if I had 12 Tahoe's police packages, I wouldn't sell them either. Not to them.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Just to clarify for everyone, we really would like the council to approve or authorize the purchase of these from Courtesy. We'll save about $6,000 per vehicle for these three vehicles because they're brand new 2023s over what we would have to pay if we'd order them in September for the 2024. So our hope is that tomorrow morning, Ben can contact them. We can get these Tahoes as soon as possible.
I think that's what, I mean, in the discussions we had, I think that's the way it was leaning, so
We were just,
I thought, I didn't know what,
on the agenda, we had the option of, we were trying to work, or they could bring them here so we could buy them from our local dealer
Retain
to
the
keep
sales
sales
tax.
tax here.
Correct.
Obviously, that's not gonna probably pan out for us.
well, we need vehicles, so.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just to answer Councilmember Bagnell's question, you're just approving this for these three vehicles. If Mr. Navarro calls tomorrow and they're already spoken for, then they're gonna have to come back to council. So this
then
is just
we'd
an
have to
approval
wait
of
until
these three vehicles.
September, like Mr. Hudson was saying, and then go ahead and put in at that time.
Well, we'd have to come back to council because this is
Right.
very specific. They're telling you where they're buying them from. They're telling you what they're buying them for. So it's very specific. So if for some reason they're not there, then we just have to bring the whole thing back to council when we found three other vehicles.
Mayor and council, I just wanted to let you know that the reason they won't release them is because we have them on hold. When Jeremy reached out and ended up finding these and getting quotes on them, we asked if they would put them on hold. He said as long as we got them on the agenda, that he would put them on hold. So they are on hold, but they're on hold for us. So as long as this goes through, then we'll be able to purchase the Tahoes.
Fantastic. That's good. Yeah, and if they have any other, I mean, we have those other vehicles for the other departments, and, we can get the 2023s as opposed to 2024, we might as well start looking at that, because everything's going up in price.
I agree.
And, we're gonna see big increases, so we might as well go ahead and get the current year model if they're trying to get rid of them and see what we can do and save ourselves a few bucks.
I just have a question. So I know we're on a specific item, but kind of, like you said, they're going to be hard to get. The prices are going up. I'm hoping that all the departments that have put in for the vehicles, that we get on that as soon as possible. Because, I guess the old saying is you snooze, you lose. And so it's not going to get any easier for us. I'm talking about all vehicles, all departments.
We actually requested bids from 4 different dealers, so we could actually get on it right away. For that reason, right there, is because availability is, even with, like we were talking about the fire truck refurbishing it, it's availability. It's hard to get vehicles, and it's been like that for several years. And so we've actually put bids out, and we started putting feelers out early, so we can get the vehicles within this fiscal year, and it doesn't end up dragging out to where it's looped over to the next fiscal year.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, we're on item 9, so is there any other questions for any of these gentlemen out here? I need a motion to act.
Mayor Thompson, I move to approve the purchase of 3 new 2023 Chevrolet Tahoes from Courtesy Chevrolet and/or Garrett Motors pending transfer swap as presented on the agenda.
Okay, do you want to step out of this, or?
Yeah, I'm not going to vote on this. That's why I pulled it. I'm not going to vote on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Councilmember Hudson, I think, was declaring a conflict,
Okay, well, I just want to make
so
sure.
he's
he
not
did.
going to vote.
Right.
Okay.
So I second that, Mayor.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll move down to item 12. Consider approval to unfreeze the capital sales tax fund for the purchase of radio equipment utilizing Arizona State Contract CTR 046830 with Motorola Solutions in the amount of $438,669.30, utilizing capital sales tax. Man, here the PD is again. What? Is this ever going to be over with this radio thing, or what's going on?
I'll get into that with a little bit more.
Wow,
Mayor.
we're running out of money, man.
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, and Council. I come to you with good news. So we're pulling this for a certain reason.
Okay.
So back in November 2022, the police department put in an application to the Border Security Fund for a grant for specific radio equipment. It was in the tune of about $416,000. Months go by and we really didn't hear anything about this grant application. And after a couple emails to the grant coordinator people, we never received any notice that we did not get it, or we did get it. So we had to move forward. So we put this on the council action item to use capital funds to get this project. So that's what we're here today. Just last Friday, after about 5 p.m., we received notice from the Border Security Fund that they did fund our grant in the amount of $416,000. So, with good news, I come to you saying we can pull this, or not necessarily pull it, I'm sorry, we're going to reword it to read, consider approval to unfreeze the capital sales tax fund for the purpose of radio equipment utilizing Arizona State Contract CTR 046830 with Motorola Solutions in the amount of $438,696.30, utilizing capital sales tax funds and the grant award. And this purchase was budgeted in the 2023-2024 capital improvement plan. So we're requesting today to go forth and proceed with this purchase. We're going to use a combination of both the grant funds and just a little over $22,239 for out of capital. So just to put this in perspective, Mayor, you had made a comment about this. This has been a long radio project, and it absolutely has. We've been working on this radio project since probably 2018. And for the council members that weren't here back in those times, you're talking about, when we're dealing with a big radio project such as this, we're not only talking about the infrastructure of the radio, which the county has created the infrastructure for this new digital system. We're talking about not only upgrading portable radios, but mobile radios inside the cars, and repeaters, microwave links, which was approved earlier. All this encompasses this big radio project. Now, if we would have went to council back in 2018, which was the catapult to get this radio equipment started, this project started, and because we suffered a lightning strike back in 2018. So that launched us forward into getting this completed. In combination with the grant funds and what the city has put in to get this radio project completed as of today, we're looking at total project costs of $1.5 million. It's very important to note that out of that $1.5 million, 66.5% of that was grant funded. The police department worked diligently, hard to get us grant funds, so the city only had to fork over a little bit of money to get this in total completed. So if I would have came back to you, Mayor, in 2018 and said, hey, can we fund $1.5 million to complete this project? It would have been, that just was, the funds weren't back then in 2018. And I mean, in 2018, when we suffered the lightning strike, we lost a Tahoe that year just to complete the build and get everybody, get the equipment back to where it was. We didn't have the funds to even complete it, so we lost the Tahoe. So that's great news. We're $1.5 million in total in this project cost, and $1,023,000 has spent in. So we're asking to really, this is the last piece of the puzzle here, is getting this repeater completed and installed.
Well, thank you, Commander. Dennis, do we want to reword this on paper and come back and do it, or can he just read off?
No, I think if whoever makes the motion.
Can utilize his text?
Well, and all that he really added was and the grant award. So whoever makes the motion will add utilizing the capital sales tax funds and the grant award.
Correct.
None of the numbers changed, correct?
No, none of the numbers
So it's
changed.
just adding that to the motion, and if we draw that's all we have to do tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? All right, then I need
Mr. Mayor, real quick, we had some big blank spots in our area, didn't we, before this
Oh,
system?
absolutely.
Many locations throughout the city where we had no communication. This resolves all of that, correct?
Oh, absolutely. So not only, little story for you, back about a couple of years ago, we've gotten a pursuit. This pursuit ended up going all the way into the city of Gilbert. Between here and Gilbert, our officer lost communication. We were no longer able to talk to him, and that was off of our VHF system. The digital system that we have currently is not only utilized, the foundation was built in Pinal County, but is also the same system that is in Maricopa County. So we almost can go pretty much statewide, and I can talk to our dispatch. A few months ago, we had to make an arrest out in Gilbert. I got on my portable radio, which is unheard of. I got on my portable radio in Gilbert and was clearly able to talk to Chief here at the station. So, and off of the old system, that's unheard of. Not going to happen. So this is by far leaps and bounds an improvement over what we had.
Commander, the fire department will be able to utilize this too, won't they?
That's the important part of this repeater project. It's not just for the police department, it's for public safety.
And didn't I read that the county will be you'll be able to talk to the county too?
We
So
already-
everybody won't have to have separate radios when you do a joint search or project or,
Yes, yes. So not only this, right now, the police department is borrowing pathways from the county. Once we purchase this repeater, we will have our own control of our radio system. We will jump off of their pathways. We will have Coolidge PD will have our channel one, the Wood Digital, and then now the fire department will have their own digital channel as well.
Okay, and I have one other question. I know, I don't think it's on this one, but it's about the antenna on Casa Grande Mountain. Who's going to climb up there and look into the room where the equipment is, or who goes up there, them or us? Or do you, is Chief Grizzle going to go over there?
I'm going to suggest Chief Grizzle,
Okay,
but I think it's going to be Motorola, honestly. Yeah.
okay. Because I know somebody's got to go up and check on that equipment on occasion.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was going to be us or if they go up and check on it or what.
So to answer that question, Mayor, probably later on, either next year or the year after that, once the warranty is up on the products that we currently have, we're going to come back to council and ask for a service agreement warranty through Motorola. And that's because we've invested so much money in getting this equipment up to speed, we want to protect it. And that's going to be in some kind of a warranty program through Motorola that they'll keep our equipment.
I know the county had one with Shores Communications and Globe, and they had to go up on top of Canal for our radios. I'm wondering, yeah, you remember that, don't you, Chief? Yeah, so I just wonder. Okay, all right, then I guess we need a motion. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
We need a motion to act on this one.
Mayor, I move to approve item number 12, to unfreeze the capital sales tax fund for the purchase of radio equipment utilizing Arizona State Contract CTR 046830 with Motorola Solutions in the amount of $438,696.30, utilizing capital sales tax and the grant. So that will make the grant $416,000 and utilizing sales tax of $22,239. Am I correct?
So the grant is
Do we want to
$416,457
get that specific?
to be exact.
Oh,
So I got
416,000 what?
457.
457, excuse me.
So I got $22,239.30 would be out of.
So do I need to redo that, or are we clear?
I would say in the general amount of 438, utilizing capital sales tax funds and the grant award. I think that way, if it's up and down or sideways.
Okay,
yeah,
what
we
he
know
said.
Okay.
I second
I was
that.
trying to get all the dollar amounts in there to make,
Yeah,
Sure, sure.
right.
Sounds very good.
I second it.
All right, then, all in favor?
aye.
Opposed?
Second, who did you get your second?
Thank you.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, perfect.
All right.
I'll catch up in a minute.
All right, now we'll move back into the regular items. Item 21, ordinance number 23-08, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Coolidge, Arizona, levying separate amounts to be raised for primary and secondary property tax levies upon each $100 of the assessed valuation of property subject to taxation within the city of Coolidge for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. Okay,
Good evening, Mayor, and members of the council. This is the tax levy for the city, so it'd be the primary and secondary rate. The secondary rate is what it has to be just because as the voters vote for it, it has to be an amount sufficient to make the debt service payment. So that's in there as it is. The only one that we really kind of can change would be the actual primary levy. We talked about those. The budget was built on the max that we can get. And so we did not hear any public comments during the public hearing last time. And actually Gussie, I think, said that she was all right with it, but other than that, we didn't have any other public comments. We haven't heard anything since. So this would just be, all the discussions we had in the revenue numbers, we're always using that amount. That takes into account the new growth and the new value of construction. So just looking to go ahead and approve that so we can go forward and be done with budget.
so what you're saying is 50% of the public that was at that meeting approved of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I think Noah was all right with it too, but
No, it was Gussie and Mr. Hiscox.
yeah, so 50% of those, or 100% of those that spoke were for it.
Okay, does anybody have anything to say? If not, I guess we need a motion to act.
Mayor, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion we approve ordinance 23-08 as read.
Second.
Okay, Sienna?
Member Tom Bagnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Adriana Saveja,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Hudson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jackie Henry,
Yes.
and Mayor John Thompson.
Yes. Thank you. Item 22, consider approval of the infrastructure and services plan for Laughlin 87 annexation.
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, council members, this is an annexation, the owners here, Melinda Kowalski, asked us to consider, and it's about half mile south of La Palma on Highway 87 and which is west on Laughlin Road. And on the property right now, there's some equestrian type buildings, sheds, and some actual corrals in the area. So she's asked to come in, and another property owner also. They both signed, so it's a two-party annexation. We got both signatures. During this property, we'll get about 4/10 of a mile of Laughlin Road that's already chip sealed, so it's in good shape. Doesn't have any potholes in it or anything that I can see. So this is a public hearing just discussing about how if you saw the infrastructure services plan, and how the city would provide services to that area if you choose to annex the property.
This is a public hearing?
No, this is not.
I thought he said this was a public hearing, but
Oh,
we already
sorry.
had the
I
public
didn't-
hearing.
Yeah, yes, we had the public hearing already, Mayor. I'm sorry.
All right. All right, then, does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
No, sir.
Okay. Then I need a motion to act.
Mayor Thompson, I move to approve the infrastructure and services plan for Laughlin 87 annexation.
Second.
Okay, the motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 23. Ordinance number 2309, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Coolidge, extending and increasing the city limits of the city of Coolidge, Pinal County, state of Arizona, pursuant to provisions Title IX, Chapter 4, Article 7, Arizona Revised Statutes, and amendments thereto by annexing thereto certain territory contiguous to the existing city limits of the city of Coolidge, considering of 28.5 acres more or less, and located within those portions of land in sections 27 and section 28, Township 6 South, Range 8 East of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian, Pinal County, Arizona, known as the Laughlin 87 annexation, and adopting initial zoning of agriculture for said territory. Mr. Lopez?
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, council members, again, this is the ordinance that effectuates the annexation with your approval. And if I'll answer any questions you may have, it's 28.5 acres, in case I didn't mention it before.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Lopez?
No, sir.
All right, then, any motion to act?
Mayor, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion we approve ordinance number 2309 as read.
Second.
Okay, the motion is second. Sienna?
Councilmember Tom Bagnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Adriana Savetra,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Hudson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jackie Henry,
Yes.
and Mayor John Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the city. If you have any complaints, Mr. Lopez is sitting right over there. Tim's got his number. So, okay, another report for the mayor and city council. Councilmember Bagnell?
Nothing.
I attended the 4th of July celebration put on by Parks and Rec, and as always, it was lovely. I think it's a great program for families.
Yeah, nothing, Ed.
Mayor, I watched the fireworks, and I thought they were really well done. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but, you know, I know that there were some people that were upset with them, but I thought they were fabulous, as always. And I'm thankful that we are able to supply that to our citizens, along with the other activities that they do for the kids. And I don't know, you know, if people understand the cost that it is and how much it takes to put on festivities like that. But, you know, I don't know. I know you're always going to have people that complain, but it just really upsets me that they sit behind a computer and complain when we try to do the best that we can for our citizens of Coolidge. And I attended the backpack giveaway, and it turned out very well. The kids, you know, watching the kids get their backpacks, picking them out and getting all the supplies and everything. I don't know, it was just exciting. And so I know there's a lot of people to thank for that. Is it Papa's kids that actually put it on? But the police department really helps out a lot. You know, there's so many people involved, and I tried to get all the names, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I think there's a few people that really worked very, very hard, but a lot of the police department was there, officers filling in and doing it, and I think they're still giving them away, right? If people weren't able to get them. But anyway, I thought it went over very well. With that note there, it was really hot in here. I don't know what's wrong with this air conditioner.
I don't know that there's anything real wrong with the air conditioner. It's hot outside. It's hot through that wall. We'll have Vern check on it, but that wall, if you go put your hand on that wall, you get a lot of heat through that wall.
Maybe it's because I was standing next to that wall, but it was hot.
Yeah, that wall is very hot. There's not a lot of shade on that side. Get a lot of sunshine through the day. I think our air conditioners are all functioning though.
I don't know, we've had a lot of problems with it, so I just thought I would throw that out. Anyway, I think that's it, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor.
It's up the heat during budget season.
We usually try to turn it up a little bit.
Chief, yeah, the chief normally turns the heat.
The heat? Chief.
It's been famous for that.
Yeah, I knew it. Okay, was that your presentation?
No.
Snitching off the chief?
No, just briefly, Mayor and members of the council, trying to keep the mayor and council informed monthly with our monthly report here. Before we, I'd like to thank our department heads for providing the information that I used to assemble this, to keep you informed of the different activities going on in our various departments. There's a lot of things that you can see as you look through this and scan through the operations. A lot of work being done in our community by some very dedicated employees. I do appreciate their service. Might mention that if you look at this in our Public Works Department under facility maintenance, we did receive a notice from Vern that he's retiring. He gave us his notice on Monday, July 3rd, and I believe this week is his last week. Is that correct? Sometime this week? So he's been a good employee, providing great service to the city under the facilities management. We appreciate him and his service to the city, but we'll be looking for another replacement for Vern here very soon. If you have any questions about anything in this, there's a lot of statistical information from the police department, library. In the back of the packet, we have information on permitting, on service connections and disconnects from our wastewater services. So there's a lot of good information here that you might, when you're really bored and want to have a hard time, you have a hard time falling asleep, just pick it up and start reading it, and you'll be okay. I don't have anything else, Mayor.
I'll squeeze that in behind my 1,000-page packet.
There you go. Just so it's a little bit of a packet. And I'm sure you're going to talk about
There is a lot of good information in there.
Of course, you got that article, and you'll talk about that, I'm sure, in your discussion.
Yeah. Okay, no, I don't have much to add. I do want to thank Supervisor Kevin Kavanaugh, Supervisor for Pinal County. One of our many supervisors that we have in this district. But, he has a large part of Coolidge. And I want to thank him for showing up and sitting through the whole meeting, and that's very nice of him to do. We don't get guests like that very often, and thank you for coming by, Kevin. We appreciate it. And so, in saying that, I need a motion to get out of here.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?